My name is Emily Parker, and I've always been a cautious person when it came to meeting people online. I had heard all the horror stories: catfishing, scams, awkward encounters, but I also knew that sometimes friendships and even meaningful connections could come from the most unexpected places. It all started one quiet Sunday afternoon in my small apartment in Portland, Oregon. I had been working from home for months, and my social life had shrunk down to a handful of text messages from old friends and the occasional phone call with my parents. That day, feeling a little adventurous, I logged into a local community app where people talked about hobbies, events, and random thoughts. A thread about photography caught my attention. Someone had posted a series of breathtaking shots of the Oregon coast at sunset, and I couldn't resist leaving a comment. The person replied almost instantly, thanking me and asking if I liked photography too. His username was Skyline Jake. From that moment, our conversation flowed naturally. We talked about favorite places in Oregon, hiking trails, and our mutual love for spontaneous road trips. His real name, I later found out, was Jacob Miller, and he lived just a few miles away in Beaverton. Over the next 2 weeks, our messages became longer and more frequent. Jacob was funny without trying too hard, curious without being intrusive, and kind in a way that felt genuine. He told me about his golden retriever, Max, his job at a small architecture firm, and how he often spent weekends exploring little-known trails in the mountains. I found myself smiling at my phone more than I wanted to admit. Still, the cautious part of me kept reminding myself, people can be different in person. One Thursday evening, after yet another long chat about the best coffee shops in the city, Jacob said, "I have an idea. There's a small art exhibit opening downtown this Saturday. It's free, and I think you'd love it. What do you say?" I hesitated. Meeting someone from online was a big step, but he had never pushed me, never made me feel uncomfortable, and something in his tone, lighthearted yet thoughtful, made me say yes. Saturday arrived with the kind of crisp autumn air that made the city feel alive. I chose a warm burgundy sweater, jeans, and my favorite ankle boots. As I walked toward the gallery, I felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Would he look like his photos? Would we get along face to face? Then I saw him. He was leaning casually against the brick wall near the entrance, wearing a navy jacket and holding a small paper bag. His smile widened as soon as he spotted me. "Emily?" he asked, stepping forward. "Jacob," I said, relieved to hear my voice sound steadier than I felt. "First things first," he said, handing me the paper bag. Inside was a small notebook with a camera sketch on the cover. "For all your photography notes," he explained. I couldn't help but grin. The art exhibit was charming. Local painters and photographers, showcasing work that felt deeply personal. We wandered from piece to piece, sharing thoughts, making jokes, and sometimes just standing quietly to admire the details. At one point, we both paused in front of a photograph of the very coastline that had started our conversation. "That's my favorite view in the whole state," he whispered. I nodded, realizing we had the same favorite. After the exhibit, Jacob suggested grabbing coffee at a nearby cafe he claimed had the world's best cinnamon rolls. We walked there under the soft golden light of early evening, passing street musicians and small market stalls. Over coffee, our conversation deepened. He told me about his grandmother who taught him how to paint, and I shared how my dad had given me my first camera at age 12. We laughed so much that I lost track of time. Just when I thought the night might be wrapping up, Jacob said, "I have one more surprise for you, if you're up for it." My cautious side flickered again, but I felt safe. I agreed. He led me a few blocks to a rooftop garden atop an old apartment building. The place was magical. Strings of warm lights were strung between planters, overflowing with flowers, and the view of the city skyline was breathtaking. "I help maintain this garden sometimes," he explained. "Not many people know about it. I thought you'd like it." We stood there for a long time, talking less and just soaking in the quiet beauty of the city from above. A gentle breeze carried the scent of lavender from the garden. At one point, Max, his golden retriever, bounded toward us from a side stairwell. Apparently, Jacob had arranged for a friend to bring him up as part of the surprise. I knelt to pet Max, laughing as his tail wagged so hard I thought he might tip over. As the evening drew to a close, Jacob walked me back to my car. "Thanks for trusting me enough to meet," he said. "This was better than I imagined." I agreed wholeheartedly.